Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is your regular host on the program, J. Ehizefa Okale, bringing you the program Eyes on Corruption, the Nigerian Situation. We reach you from multiple social media platforms, including YouTube, Facebook, and of course, Twitter, and our website, gcsdn.org. Today's program is brought to you under the auspices of the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria. And the topic today is serious injustice and inequity in the land. Corruption no longer has boundaries. I will be with you in the next half an hour, so sit back while we go on a short break.
Eyes on Corruption, Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, GCSDN presents Eyes on Corruption, a weekly x-ray of social and political issues. Eyes on Corruption, an expose on issues that bother on corruption-related practices in Nigeria. Eyes on Corruption, informative, educative, and enlightening. Eyes on Corruption, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Join us on our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and our website, gcsdn.org. Host, J. Ehizefua Ohali.
All right, once again, welcome to the program. We're discussing the topic today: serious injustice and inequity in the land, and corruption has no boundaries anymore in Nigeria. We woke up to the news in recent times of the kidnapping and killings kingpin, popularly known as Wadume, in the north, and he was sentenced to 7 years imprisonment in spite of all the atrocities he had committed, even with all the allegations and rumors that he was aided by people in uniform, and he was even in the safety of and guided by securities. He carried out a lot of atrocities, and at the end of it, he was sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. And we have a similar person in the name of Evans, the kidnapper, who was also notorious for the same kind of crime, although he is from the eastern extraction of the Nigerian states. And a lot of people have it that there is a discrepancy in these judgments, as these two noted people have committed basically the same kind of crime. One is getting a life imprisonment, while the other is getting just 7 years imprisonment. Social media is agog with reactions concerning these actions, and people are expressing their concerns about this. If we are operating the same constitution, if we are in the same country, guided by the same set of rules and laws, why is it that for the same kind of crime of the same magnitude committed by these two persons, granting the fact that both of them are from different axes of the country, one is given a soft landing according to the social media concerns raised, and the other is given the most punitive of the terms of imprisonment? What is the reason for this? How did this come about? Why is one given a life imprisonment and the other given 7? Why aren't they both given 10? I mean, the life imprisonment, This is a concern of most of the social media fans that have responded and reacted to these very sentences. I don't know what is your opinion. Let us know your opinion on this. And some people have adduced a number of reasons to this. Some people have adduced the fact that one is a sacred cow and has to be treated with kid gloves. The other is from an unfortunate part of the country. Well, these are reactions from people. I don't know what is your take on this. Let us know your thoughts on this. Reach us on comments, reactions, and of course suggestions during this program, and we will look at them one after the other. I will be looking at the comment section as time goes on. Um, Another thing that just happened in the country recently is the fact that the Nigerian state and of course the government of the day, the current regime, a lot of things are happening and people are beginning to ask questions. What is going on? Why is the nation going through all this? We have had a case of termites eating up documents of expenses worth about 17 billion, and this is allowed to happen. Some time ago, not too long ago, we were told that snake disappeared or swallowed money or something like that, something in a similar line, and also that monkey disappeared with some money, and we're talking of huge sums of money in each of these instances. Why is this going on? Is this and all the other related issues some acts of negligence, or were they intentional acts to cover up some very bad deeds? These are some of the questions we are asking, and we tend to provide answers to them and seek the opinions of the teeming population and the public. How can snake get away with millions of naira? How can snake get away with such amount of money? Are we talking about, is this a joke? And now that we're talking about $17 billion, 17 billion naira worth of expenses, documents concerning this are eaten up by termites. Is this a joke? This is the height of irresponsibility and corruption in high and low places. To my knowledge, nobody has been brought to book in each of these instances. Nobody has been called to answer why these things are happening in each of these occurrences. Nigerians want to know how this happened, and Nigerians want to know who are involved, and of course, what measures are being put in place to ensure that things like this don't keep reoccurring. We have had three separate incidents of this kind of situation, and we are worried about this. Not too long ago, terrorists attacked one of the maximum security correctional centers in Nigeria, and they had a field day and they were able to rescue their own persons that were kept in such a facility. And as at this day, not much success has been recorded in recovering those that have escaped from the prison. We are looking into all this, And at the appointed time, Nigerians will ask questions and they will demand answers, of course. Nigerians have been taken for granted for too long by the political class, and Nigerians need to wake up to their responsibilities as equal partakers of the project Nigeria. We must all be equal partakers in the project Nigeria to ensure that we bequeath a better nation to our children and our children's children. We cannot continue to fold our hands. We cannot continue to watch. We cannot continue to be passive and allow thugs, criminals, and politicians to be determining the affairs of the nation, to be determining the future of the nation, to be determining who gets what and when. Nigerians have to be on top of their games to ensure that the nation is given its pride of place as a nation that is endowed with great human and natural resources, with all kinds of endowments naturally and otherwise. Another case in point was the issue of insecurity of lives and property in the entire nation. Billions of naira have been earmarked for security purposes in Nigeria in the past 10 to 15 years, and we have not seen much in terms of success recorded when you just oppose that against the amount of funds that have been disbursed for security purposes in Nigeria. To this day, each state governor still collects a security fund for security purposes. In addition to that, the various security apparatus, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Army, the budgets are such that has to do with fighting this insurgency, and these amounts of money have been earmarked for restoring normalcy to the troubled areas and to secure the other areas that are not yet experiencing this beehive of activities, terrorism and kidnappings. Nigerians are wanting to know what is the situation at this point in time. Nobody can confidently travel by road to any part of the country, especially in the northern parts, at this point in time. Travelers on the trail were attacked recently, and they have been in the day of the kidnappers for months, although some releases have been made, but until everyone is free, the government cannot be seen to have done anything positive. People's life matter, life of those that are still in captivity matter, and Nigeria needs to wake up. The government of the day needs to do something about this and ensure the lives of those that are in captivity amongst the terrorists in the bush are released and free forthwith. It is disheartening to note that even the criminals that were released in the Kuje Correctional Center, there were some negotiations that went on. The wife of one of the kingpins was released to them after a negotiation, and ransom paid, and the terrorists have refused to release everybody, but they have gotten their own side of the bargain, but the government has not gotten its own side of the bargain. Is this a collusion? Was this just a charade to satisfy this kingpin by the people in government? And Garba Shehu is currently defending this, that they were deceived. Is that acceptable to any right-thinking mind? Nigerians demand answers, and we cannot continue to live in fear in a nation that once was the pride of the whole African states. A nation that prides itself as one of the key players that brought down apartheid in South Africa, a nation that prides itself as a key player in the military operations in West Africa, in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and other countries. The security apparatus need to be rejigged, and the government of the day needs to sit up to stem this tide of corruption in high and low places that are putting a clog in the wheel of our progress, that are putting a clog in the wheel of the progress, that are bringing about insecurity of life and properties, where no one is safe to take a trip from one part of the country to the other, where no one is safe to confidently storm any part of the country without fear of being kidnapped or robbed or killed. This must not continue. Nigerians must continue to speak out, and for the fact that we need a good country, we should begin to work towards electing good leaders in the political space so that Nigeria can wake up from this slumber. Nigeria can wake up and regain its pride of place in the community of nations in the African region as well as in the global playing field. This is our cry. We are all in this together, and Nigeria must be rescued from the hands of touts, criminals, and thugs, from the hands of insensitive leaders, from the hands of clueless leaders, from the hands of bigots who have nothing to offer but nepotism and corruption, from the hands of failed leaders, from the hands of criminals, from the hands of people who have stolen and looted our nation dry. We must stand up for our rights and stand up to be counted among the soldiers of truth, the crusaders of hope. This is our cry. This is our plea. We must not leave this fight for the brave alone. We must not leave this fight for the brave alone. Nigeria must be rescued, and we all have a part to play to ensure that sanity comes back to our land, to ensure this wanton killing, destruction of lives and property becomes a thing of the past. We can do this if we agree together. Thank you, and let us be encouraged and be emboldened by the fact that united we can never be defeated. The faceless criminals in the bush cannot, as a matter of fact, be a threat to us if we are united. The soldiers have what it takes to get this done. People of conscience in government have what it takes to change the narrative and jettison this path of perdition. There are soldiers and retired generals who have attested the fact that we can crush these criminal elements, who have attested the fact that we just need the political will to do stuff and increase the morale of those of those foot soldiers that are on ground. You may sit back and watch this as an evidence of the fact that we can do this.
We cannot, and I repeat, we cannot negotiate with these guys. We've got what it takes to crush them off. You only begin to negotiate when you've not done your homework, when you've not put in all what you should put in place. So when they have taken over your kids or your citizens and hold them ransom, there is nothing you can do. Any attempt at rescue operation, there will be high collateral damage. You will lose nearly half or over three-quarters of them. And what you are compelled to start negotiating. As a country with a strong defense force, haven't actually equipped your inventory, my God, you go out there and crush the enemy. That is what I expect from Nigeria. We did this in Liberia, we did this in Sierra Leone, we did it in the... What is happening with us? Is this Nigeria? Our sovereignty is threatened. Bandits have taken over this country. And we are watching. We are watching. For Christ's sake, we must save this country. This is the only land we have. Can someone tell the president that Nigeria is sinking? We are sinking. Every day we are sinking.
Well, Colonel Hassan Labo, I stand.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, viewers from all over the world. This is the program Eyes on Corruption, reaching you from multiple social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and of course our website gcsdn.org. And the topic today is serious injustice and inequity in the land. Corruption no longer has boundaries. Corruption is affecting every area of our land. Corruption is what is making this battle against the insurgents, against the terrorists, to be elongating. If people handling these situations are not corrupt, this situation would have been brought to a halt long before now. If there is no business going on that is elongating this fight against terrorism in Nigeria, people who are cashing out on this, then this would have long been a long won battle. Please, fellow Nigerians, we need your cooperation. Whenever you see something that is not right, report it, blow it out, and let everybody know. There is negotiation with terrorists by the government, but they claim they are being deceived after checking out, after they are afraid to release the kidnapped victims. Negotiations have been underway, and the government said they were deceived. That is the height of irresponsibility and insensitivity. Nobody is going to believe that joke. Nobody is going to believe that joke that they are still defending. Nobody is going to believe that joke. Snake swallowed money. Monkey disappeared with money. And expenditure documents worth of over 17 billion eaten by termites so that no records will be seen. Some shady deals must have happened in that regard. We cannot continue to believe this joke. The international community are laughing at us. The international community will be ridiculing us. What kind of a country is this? Please, if you are in a position of trust, live up to your expectation. Stop putting the country in ridicule. An accountant general of the Federation stole billions of naira from the coffers, and he is free as at this point in time. He's on bail. But a petty thief will still, just to feed his stomach, he will be given the most punitive of punishment, even without trial. But here is an accountant general of the Federation that has stolen so much, and he is on bail, is granted bail. This is a country where the big thieves are left off the hook, but the small thieves are crushed. The government must sit up. Nigerians must begin to ask questions and demand answers. Things are not good, and we must not continue like this. Corruption has eaten deep into the fabric of the nation. We must stand to eradicate it in our institutions, in governmental institutions. That's the only way Nigeria can move forward. I urge you, fellow Nigerians, stand and speak out. Speak out when you hear something that is not right. Speak out. When you see something not going on right, raise an alarm. Let us be whistleblowers and alarm blowers so that this nation can be rescued from the hands of thieves, from the hands of thugs, from the hands of criminals, from the hands of terrorists. This is the only way. Let's reorientate our minds and values. Let's reorientate our minds and values and create a better nation. If we all have to go our separate ways for peace to reign, let it be. But Nigeria is better off united if we all are equal and co-contributors in every ramifications. No one should lord it over the other. No part of the country should lord it over the other. We should be equal contributors and equal owners of the country. Thank you, and let's have a good day. Until I come your way again, this is your regular host, J. Ehizefo Okale, signing off. And I tell you, this is the program Eyes on Corruption.
My name is Ebuka. I really like you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a quiz coming up. Please ensure you register your schools. Schools are starting soon, and I urge you to sit back and watch how you can register your words for the quiz competition that is coming up. And it's coming up under the auspices of the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria. And I hope you will all be part of this quiz competition.